You know, I think the best songs come from true stories. And this song is a true story that happened to me. You see, I live here in Kansas City in what I call the Wonderland of Wood, right? I live here alone with just me and the wharf, and I think you can see a picture of him up here, right? When I first got the wharf, he was 8 pounds of just brown cuteness, right? And extremely ornery and chewed on everything, and he was great, right? He was great. I loved it. Well, the wharf and I like to go up and we'd like to take walks in the City Market Park, and there's a group of people up there that hang out that currently don't happen to have a home. And they've seen the wharf since he was this into the 65 pounds of, oh my God, that he is now, right? They love him. They look forward to seeing him every time, and he looks forward to seeing them. But you see, the wharf and I were up there on a walk one day, and I saw the coolest thing ever, right? There was a guy who had gotten a shopping cart, and he had filled the shopping cart with a whole bunch of backpacks. And in those backpacks, he had put like gloves and hats and coats and that kind of stuff, right? And he'd gotten with our group of friends that we have down there, and he was handing them out, right? And as he handed them out, he'd just say, "Merry Christmas," right? And it was so cute and so cool to see how appreciative everyone was with just these little gifts, right? But you see, there's one guy down there who kind of sits off by himself. He doesn't really engage with the rest of the crew, and he kind of sits on a bench and stares at the ground. Well, the man walked over to him and handed him a backpack, and he said, "Here you go, Sam. Merry Christmas." Well, Sam stood up, and he looked the guy right in the eye, and he said, "Thank you. You may have given me the best Christmas present I've ever had." Well, the guy looked at him, and he said, "Oh, come on, Sam. You know what's in there. It's just gloves and hats and stuff, and we do this every year. It's not a big deal." Sam looked at him. He said, "You know, I really appreciate the gloves and the hats and the stuff, but that's really not the most important thing that you did. You see, you recognize that I'm a human being. You recognized I'm a person. You recognize that I'm just not the homeless dude hanging out in the park, right? You knew who I am. You knew that I'm Sam. And you called me by my name." Learning their stories, how they became the people they are, how much we're the same. The first step is simply calling their name. Well, I often wonder how we got here, where people are starving and living in fear, with so many blind to their base human needs, leaving them hungry with no place to sleep. We say that it's hard, we say it's a burden to reach out and touch When someone is hurting, afraid of the dangers, getting too close. When these are the people who need us the most. If we could only call their names, learning their stories, how they became the people they are, how much we're the same. The first step is simply calling their name. Well, how could it be that we've lost our compassion? How could it be we no longer imagine, while sitting in buildings of granite and stone, and locking our doors when it's time to go home? We claim we're all equal, but someone explain why people are dying and we feel no shame. We're sitting in judgment, assigning the blame to those who are helpless. Someday we'll learn what real charity means, unselfishly loving in both words and deeds, doing our best just to treat all the same, and changing their world by just calling their name. If we could only call their names, learning their stories, how they became the people they are, how much we're the same. The first step is simply, if we could only call their names, learning their stories, how they became the people they are, and how much we're the same. The first step is simply calling their name, calling their name, calling their name. One thing I would ask you to take away with you tonight is, the holidays are coming. And not everybody has a family, and not everybody has a home. So the next time you pass a homeless person, remember Sam. And remember how sometimes the smallest thing can make such a big difference. If we could only call their names, learning their stories, how they became the people they are, how much we're the same. The first step is simply